And they say, oh, you can't dismiss him because of his military service. But here's the truth about his military service. His dad was the admiral leading the war in Vietnam, essentially the king of the Navy. When he was training to become a fighter pilot, he crashed 3 separate fighter jets. The first one was in training. The second one was in Spain. He was hot dogging, and he took out a power line and caused a power outage in like half the country of Spain in a huge international incident, right? So again, any other pilot would be grounded forever for that. John McCain's dad was the head honcho, so he got to keep going. The third plane he crashed in training was his dad would let him take these fighter jets for like personal weekend joyrides to go see girls and sporting events in other states, right? A fighter jet that costs like $50,000 an hour for gas. So this insane nepotism, right, is the basis of his career. Then he gets deployed to Vietnam. He's out on the USS Forrestal, right? And he's doing this hot dogging around, breaking the rules, and he causes this fire that gets 180 sailors, American sailors, killed on this ship here. And again, faces 0 consequences, redeployed 2 weeks later. And so when he was going out on that fateful mission where he was shot down, his mission got called off. All of his wingmen went back, right? If you've seen Top Gun, you never leave your wingmen, it leaves you exposed. They get called back. John McCain says, no, I'm not coming back. He breaks the floor. You're not supposed to fly under 5,000 feet because it makes you a prime target for missiles. He breaks the rules, ignores the order, breaks the floor to go bomb a light bulb factory, and that's when he gets shot down. And get this, he was never tortured. He got hit by the wing as he was ejecting, right? So obviously, he was in near-death condition when he hit the ground, and if they would have tortured him at all, he would have died instantly, right? Because he was so messed up. And in exchange for medical treatment, he started helping the Viet Cong reposition their SAM sites in order to shoot down more American pilots. So if anybody's seen that Top Gun movie, they're flying through that valley, right? And they're doing it because all the missiles are up here, right? And imagine if there was a traitorous American on the other side of that telling them, hey, they're going to fly through here like this, reposition your missiles, and you could totally light all these guys up. That's what John McCain did. And then when he made that huge grandstanding thing about how, I'm not going to be released until all my fellow, POWs are released. Everybody that knows John McCain, he was extremely selfish. He was all about himself first. He would never do that. The reason he did that is because he didn't want to come back to the United States because he was going to get court-martialed for treason for helping the enemy shoot down so many pilots, right? So essentially the political power move of the century here, he flipped the tables on them, got the media to lionize him into this hero, and now they are essentially trapped, right, with like, what do we do here, right? So when he came back, immediately, right, so he had a wife and child that had been waiting, not Cindy McCain, a separate wife and child that had been waiting 5 years for his return, anxious, destroyed, devastated. Immediately when he gets back, he ditches them and goes and hooks up with a way younger girl named Cindy Hensley, who is the heiress of this crime family of an Arizona mafia, right? So that is John McCain's record of service, and that is the basis, this fictional characterization of that by the media is the reason that none of us are ever allowed to say anything, ever allowed to criticize how he votes in Congress, or we're ever allowed to criticize how he goes around all around the world in his warmongering, right? So if you notice in Syria, in Ukraine, in Libya, what is the common denominator in all those? John McCain would go visit all of those areas dozens of times beforehand because when Congress travels, they have these diplomatic visas, right? So he could go meet up with ISIS, he could go meet up with these neo-Nazis and essentially take their orders for weapons that they were going to get from the United States, right? He was essentially a shadow diplomat and an insurgent weapons liaison. And so we're not allowed to criticize that because they have this lore over there. So I think if Kari Lake and Donald Trump could do a better job when they criticize McCain of actually unpacking that and leading people to
here's the information, yeah.
Yeah, then I think it would be much better received in Arizona, and I think it would help us beat this McVampire mafia off our back.